Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. And you, monkey, you're listening to the Potsy and Tino show. And that's not a bad thing, monkey. That's a good thing. Bang!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world. That's right. It's the road dog, Tino Gray, who seems to keep freezing on me. The badass Rob Potsy Potchak, that's me. You just heard DDP. That's right. Thank you to Diamond Dallas Page. We'll go ahead and plug DDP Yoga while we're at it. And, of course, our theme song is always brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. Tino, we always start the show with a little something we like to call... What's up with you?
I don't know what's up with me. Let's see. I went to Hickory this past Saturday, did my thing, had a blast.
Come on. There's no stories about any drunk women or anything at the...
No, they were pretty. They were pretty. I mean, it's just, you've been to a bar and you've been to a bar. I mean, there's no special story where the drunk people there. Yes, but there's nothing that sticks out for me to remember. Got back, had to meet Haley for lunch, and then came home. Didn't even have time to take a nap because I had to get up and go do youth. So. It was a busy weekend, but it was a fun weekend. I had a good time. Trying to think. And then yesterday, I worked, came home, and watched Monday Night Raw.
How's the knee doing?
The knee is awesome. I mean, it still pops. You know, I don't know if that's because of the ACL and meniscus and all that stuff, or it's just.
I think that's the AGE.
I think that's what that is. But other than that, I have no pain. It doesn't feel like it's going to give out on me. So, you know, every once in a while, it hurts a little bit. The doctor did say it's still going to be, I'm still probably good 4 or 5 months before it's like better. But I'm able to do what I want to do. And that's what I like.
And you don't have to have surgery if you don't want to.
No, not if I don't want to. Unless it goes back and it feels unstable or it starts to hurt me really bad. Then we'll go back and look. But I'm going to try not to have surgery as long as I can because I don't want to go under the knife.
No. Did I ever tell you about the time that like I went to the knee doctor and he was like, yeah, we could totally do reconstructive surgery on your knee. And there's a 25% chance that it'll get better. And I said to him, so does that mean there's a 75% chance it won't or get worse? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, then why would I ever go in for surgery considering I can still walk right now?
Yeah, that's always the thing because I do have arthritis on the knee. So he did say if he did go in there to surgery, it could exacerbate the arthritis and make it worse. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
No.
Why do I want to be in pain?
Yeah. Especially after you watch shows like Dr. Death on Peacock. You know, like I don't know if you've watched it. But It's all about this back and neck surgeon, and he's played by Joshua Jackson, who used to be Pacey on Dawson's Creek. But it's got Christian Slater and Alec Baldwin as like these two older doctors who keep having to fix this dude's mistakes, right? And like 30 patients in a row. He sits there and like pretty much makes them paraplegics, quadriplegics, kills a couple of, and Tino, it literally makes me go, I never want to go in for surgery.
Like, why is he still allowed to perform surgery? Is the next?
I don't want to ruin the show because the show's actually really good.
Okay.
It's 8 episodes on Peacock. It's totally worth a watch, but you'll have the same feeling I do by the time you're done. You won't want to ever go in for surgery after that. And now I'm watching one called, I think it's called Dope Sick.
Now, you know one you need to watch? And I didn't think I was going to like it, but I ended up getting into it. and I finished it. Squid Game.
I've watched the first episode. I'll get around to finishing it. But
the first episode's kind of slow, man. As it goes, it picks up. Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm beginning to think that Netflix is doing social experiments with us about what is popular and what's not. Because why would the American audience just randomly decide, hey, 60 million of us are all going to watch Squid Game at the same time?
But we do.
But that's my point.
And all this started back during the pandemic, during quarantine, with motherfucking Tiger King,
which I never watched.
I watched it. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like a train wreck, dude. It's like a train wreck. I couldn't help it.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not watching that shit. It looked like garbage.
It was good.
So, but you said it's a train wreck.
It's a train wreck, but it was good. It was entertaining. Let me put that. It was entertaining.
I don't know, man. I look at shit like that and I'm like Netflix is telling us that that everyone says that it's the best thing since sliced bread, and because we're sheeple, we sit there and just follow along, and it's like, oh my god, Carol Baskin, bah! You know, like, fuck Carol Baskin. Like, woman never should have been famous or popular or anything.
Baskin.
Yeah, should have never been. What's that?
Killed the husband, trashed him. The song, Carol Baskin.
So, so I'm watching this show on Hulu now called Dope Sick, and it's based on a true story. It's all based on the 1990s where a pharmaceutical company created OxyContin, and they kept coming up with new ways to tell you that it wasn't a addictive drug, and yet it became more addictive than, like, you name it. It became more addictive than Vicodin, more addictive than morphine, and it was because it was an opioid. I mean, it's opium, you know. And what's funny is when I had my 2 teeth extracted about 6 months ago, they gave me Oxy for it, you know. So today I'm sitting there watching the show, and they're talking about how for your pain they'll give you 10 milligrams, and then if you have breakthrough pain, which my phone's going off for some reason.
You're all right.
What's that?
You all right? I'll send you.
Yeah, my phone just went off, and I don't know why. Oh, somebody's sending me something about employee stock. So like this whole opioid thing, you know, like they created this phrase breakthrough pain. So the reason why your pill wouldn't last the 12 hours it's supposed to is because your pain had a breakthrough, and it broke through the pain medication, which what we really know isn't a real thing. It's your body's becoming adaptive to the medication. So what did the sales reps tell the doctors to do?
Up it.
Double the doses.
Right now, let's see. I had a wisdom tooth pulled, I think, last year? No, not wisdom tooth. I had to get a crown, and I've got Oxy in there Percocet from that, and then the knee, I've got Oxy, and I didn't take them all as needed because for that reason. So now they're sitting up in my cabinet. So if I ever do get pain, I can pop it.
Well, you're not supposed to do that, and you know that. You're supposed to actually go to the doctor and get a new prescription, because medication actually does expire, by the way. But you know, like it you know, when I had heart surgery, you know, 2 days in ICU, they're sitting there going, what's your pain measurement feel like? And it's like, it's off the charts, because, you know, I had the separated shoulder that I talk about, where, you know, your whole body's just opened up like a lobster. So when they put you back together, they don't know that they knocked your arm out of socket or anything else. So of course they're asking what my pain level's like. Well, then they're giving me a morphine drip, boop, 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 as many times as I want to hit the little button. Then it's, oh, you can only do that so many times. And then after that, we've got to give you something else for the pain. And before you know it, like, it's Percocets every 6 hours, it's Oxycontin every 8 hours, it's morphine every 2 hours, you know. So like you're legitimately going, fuck, like, because I'm sitting there going, I'm still in pain, and the doctor's like, well, we can't do anything else except give you Tylenol at this point, because you're within the ramifications of when you can get any of those medications again, right? Which is great, because I sat there and said, well, fuck it, I don't want any of those medications anymore, just give me Tylenol from now on. And the doctor's like, but you're in pain, we don't want you in pain. And I'm like, listen, I already can feel the cold sweats coming on because you won't give me anymore, which means I know it's becoming addictive at this point. So it's time to stop, because if I don't, then, you know, I'm just gonna end up being a junkie, you know, and I don't want that kind of lifestyle or anything else. I don't want to, you know, be on pain medications the rest of my life if I don't have to. It's bad enough I have to be on blood pressure medicine. I have to be on like cholesterol medicine, you know, and those are just as addictive. They just don't have addictive feelings to them because like your body requires them, you know. So if I stop taking cholesterol medication, I could have a heart attack tomorrow, you know, because my body's craving it. It needs it to keep those levels where they need to be. So anyways, so the show has Michael Keaton in it. And I never thought that he would do like a limited series or anything like that. I always thought that, you know, he's just a movie actor, you know. But he's really good as like the small town doctor that starts prescribing everybody Oxycontin because you know, like, people need it for pain management. And like it's weird because, like, you know, it's all, like I said, it's all based on a true story. So I don't know how much is true and how much like just helps move the story along when it comes to this TV show. But, you know, in the 3rd episode, he gets into a car wreck and he breaks 4 ribs. And he's on his way back because he works in a small town with a mine, and the mine has an explosion in it. So all these people are hurt. So when he gets back, you know what he's going to prescribe him?
Percocet, Oxycontin.
He's gonna do the Oxycontin. Well, when he goes to the doctor in Washington with the 4 broken ribs, guess what they prescribe him?
Oxycontin.
So now you've got a doctor who's probably a junkie prescribing it to an entire town that is going to be junkies. So it's like, oh man, it's going to be good, you know. But it's an excellent. The first 3 episodes were excellent. And I think the new episode actually hits tonight at midnight. So I'll probably watch that tomorrow after work, or I'll watch it on my lunch break tomorrow at work. But so my week, Tino, like flew by. It was nuts. You know, like last week, we had all the different wrestling programs on and everything that we had to keep up with. And I did better this week than I did last week, but I still didn't catch everything. But it's not my fault. My DVR
all right, Smith.
It wasn't my fault. No, it's not my fault because my DVR actually left like it recorded all the different shows, but both AEW shows, for whatever reason, I just have a blank screen.
Well, I, like a dumbass,
recorded SmackDown on Fox.
No, I recorded it. It recorded it on FS1,
but not the extra half an hour. So all right, we'll get to that. But my week, Friday night, I got into Fayetteville for Fayetteville ComicCon. And I had drinks with the showrunner and a couple different comic book and television movie personalities kind of stuff, which was kind of cool. Gave them some ideas of how to make the shows better going forward, that kind of stuff. Talked to some people, you know, I'm trying to gain representation for shows myself so that way I don't have to constantly try to put these deals together about how I come to the shows or anything. So I'm trying to work on something there. Saturday, I introduced my new comic, which comes out in February.
Dude, I've been waiting for you to announce this. You know how hard it was for me not to say anything when I'm trying not to slip, and give it away.
So here it is. I'll there. For everyone out there, the Mangolorian, or as I like to say, the Mangolorian, which is all about the galactic shippers, the Mangos, and one in particular named Lorian, who picks up a package and what the package actually involves and what's inside it is what could win the streaming services war. So Prime versus Disney Plus versus HBO Max versus Peacock versus Paramount Plus versus Showtime, all of them, right? Netflix, Hulu, all that garbage. What's in the package wins that war. So, of course, the package accidentally opens and Lorian decides he doesn't want to give it to anybody. But I'm not going to explain what it is because I need you to read the book. God. Yeah, I can't even the preview books that I made, the final page of the preview book where the character would have been first seen, whatever's in the box, as you can see, it now says spoiler. So you will not see that until February when the book comes out. And I can't.
Is that cover I saw that I like so much?
Yes,
that cover's coming up. Okay.
Yeah. So in February, when the book actually launches, folks, there's going to be multiple covers for it. Sorry, I'm pulling Instagram back up so I can show. I can't show the one cover because the one cover is actually known as the reveal cover. And that was drawn by a buddy of mine named Nick Laurie and myself. So I will not be showing that one, but I will show one other cover tonight just because the Potsy and Tino viewing audience deserves a little extra. Just a smidge, just a little extra. So you ready?
What you got?
Where is it? The action figure variant cover.
Yeah.
So, and as you can tell, because this is another parody book, Marvel likes to do these action figure variant covers, but theirs always actually have a little action figure on them. So I decided to make the joke of it was going to be that someone stole the action figure off the cover. So there we are with that. So I announced that. Thought that was a lot of fun. Saturday I announced the comic, sold the preview books. I sold out of the black and white cover one. I still have a couple left of the color cover version of it. So people can still get their hands on that if they want them. And yeah, Saturday was a lot of fun. I ended up going to a barcade that night with a friend of mine, and playing video games. It seemed every time that we played the video games, my controller was broken. And I know that sounds like it's like a lie, but like, for example, we were playing Guitar Hero, at the arcade, and the green button was depressed the entire time. So I couldn't play Guitar Hero because I couldn't hit any other button because the green button was always pressed. So about 10 seconds into it, I just put the controller down and was like, what am I going to do? So anyways, and then Sunday, Tino, I got to have a lot of fun. I was on a panel with the former editor-in-chief of Marvel, where we were talking with VIPs of the convention about like anything that they wanted to ask about when it came to like creating comics or what they thought about the industry today, where they thought the industry was going, stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. And that was all while we got to, all got to taste different teas and honeys, which is pretty neat. Yeah, they had a local beekeeper come out and everything, and then they had a special VIP thing with what they called their Legends of Wrestling. So it was Melina, it was Victoria from the WWE, it was SoCal Val, and it was Ryback, and they were all in the same, like, it was a small, very intimate room, just the four of them with like 6 other people, and I just happened to get invited into that so that I could participate with it. So I'm sitting there talking to Victoria and SoCal Val, and it's hilarious because they're not as PC as you would think they are.
What do you mean?
Well, just how they're talking about things. Like SoCal Val is very punny. She sits there and she's like, "Oh, honey," because we're sitting there tasting honeys, you know, and she's saying stuff like, "Oh, you're such a tease," you know, and dumb things like that because well, we're sitting there drinking tea and we're so. But no, it was really cool getting to meet them and everything because I gave them each some comic books that they could read on the flight, and I even said, "Hey, you know, if you don't like them, but you think some kids in the neighborhood or anything like that would, go ahead and give them away or whatever." But you know, they were very appreciative, and they were like, "Oh, do you want some pictures or you know anything like that?" And they were packing up. Otherwise, I would have asked. I would have asked, and I didn't because, like I said, they were packing all their stuff up because it was late on Sunday, and so I didn't get us any new podcast spots. But you did hear that I did play one, you know, that we haven't played in a while. So yeah, so I got to do all that, man. It's funny too because I spent very little time at my table on Sunday because I was at all these other little side events. So it was pretty funny.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. And then, of course, Thursday, as early as I can get my ass out of bed and packed up, I will be headed to Kentucky for Scarefest this week. Pretty big show, it looks like. So I'm pretty excited, and they've now given us a Sunday panel at that as well. But Tino, I was mentioning the honeys and the teas, right? And the next time you're over here live with me,
okay,
I've got a taste testing for you. So live on the air.
What you got?
You're gonna try some ghost pepper honey.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yep.
No. You know I don't do spicy shit.
Trust me, you won't even notice.
Fuck you, ghost pepper.
Come on, it's for the audience.
You do it.
I did it already.
Not for the audience.
Well, that's why I will do it when you do it.
Do it for the Rock.
I did it for the Rock.
I did it for the Rock.
Randy Orton. So I will do it with you. I won't make you do it by yourself.
Sweet Jesus. Whatever.
It is sweet. It is sweet.
Whatever.
No, it is. It's honey. I mean, it's legitimately honey, but yeah, I'm not gonna give it away. I'll just say that everyone's gonna want to watch that episode.
It's gonna hurt.
It is. But here's the good news: it did not hurt coming out.
That's why I don't do spicy shit.
Yeah, this will not do that. You don't have anything to worry about there. That I promise you. Okay.
All right.
And I wouldn't. Hey, do I ever promise anything?
Yes. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't ever promise anything. That's why my ex-wife and I aren't together anymore. That popped you. Right. That was at the 23-minute mark. We're going to go ahead and grab that one for TikTok later. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the GameStop story of the week. And unfortunately, once again, it is not going to be a really funny or happy one.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. So last week we discussed how GameStop is the only major retailer that we have heard of that is going to be open on Thanksgiving.
Right.
And they haven't announced the actual hours yet that I know of. I assume it's going to be either 5 to 9 or 6 to 10 so that they can claim they gave their employees enough time to have dinner with their families, right? Claim. I don't know if that's going to, like, they might do 3 to 7 just because GameStop seems to think that that's the best possible time to be open. Who the fuck knows? Anyways, it looks like, now, Tino, in your estimation,
oh shit,
if a company was going to be open on Christmas Eve,
right?
what time should they close?
Early enough to get their people out. So if they're going to open on Christmas Eve, depending on what like GameStop?
Yeah.
So what time is GameStop? No, I don't know their hours. They open at what, 9 usually?
So their normal hours in most stores is going to be 10 to 9. Now remember, at Christmas time they're going to extend hours anyway, right? So probably 8 in the morning, let's say, is when they're going to open.
I would say the latest 4.
That would be the ideal time to shut down, right? Rumor has it. Rumors
and innuendo.
Rumors and innuendo. That's my Conrad.
Wow. Watch yourself.
Yeah, he's got enough power to just cancel me. So rumor has it that GameStop is going to be open straight up till 9 o'clock that night.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So they're going to open 13 hours.
If they continue with the trend of previous years, I would anticipate they will open at 8 a.m. that day. How does that make you feel? How's that make you feel?
Pissed? I'd quit.
So I'm reading Reddit today. Okay. And pardon me, I'm going to eat some M&Ms. So I was reading Reddit today on my break. And that one didn't even have a shell on it. And the employees, everybody's got a fake name on there, except for me. I'm Rob Potsy Potcheck on there, right? They're all talking about we should stage a walkout. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think that a major corporation like GameStop would ever allow their employees back into the building if they staged a coup like that?
Oh no, you lost your job. So if you're gonna do it, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'd quit anyway. So yeah, I'd walk out. Peace out. Leave the keys.
So here's what I would do. You're a month and a half out from it, or a month and a week, right? Put in your notice. Work out your 2 weeks. Make your last day the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, because you know you got sales set up on Wednesday.
Yep.
And if you have any care about the company or the people you work with, if you work that Wednesday, you're gonna finish out your shift and actually put the stuff out like you're supposed to. At least I know I would, because my last day was the Call of Duty launch.
I was about to say, yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I actually worked the late night launch before it, and then I worked Call of Duty, and that, because the day before Call of Duty was the PS5 launch. Yep. So I worked the PS5 launch, worked Call of Duty, and then said, it's been nice knowing you, right? And that was 3 weeks notice. That wasn't even 2 weeks notice.
I remember. I thought you were crazy.
I wanted the money, and I wanted to make sure I got a PS5. I pre-ordered one, but there was all these rumors that like there weren't going to be enough of them for even pre-orders at that point. So I was like, oh, I'm getting mine. So, but I have to wonder what they're thinking from the corporate level that would ever make them think that this is acceptable behavior at their level.
goes back to what we were saying before. That morale, that there's no way that's keeping you morale, especially you have. I don't even want to say, even if they're high school kids. I'm like, but you've got people with kids that want to be setting things up. You know what I mean? They have to be there to do all that and to work all day and then have to go home and do that. And even just to, like, I know for myself, we have Christmas Eve traditions that we do that would not get done if I got home at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, so years past, let's say 2006 when I started through like 2013, 2014. So first 8-9 years, we would close at 6. And the last 2 hours of that, 4 to 6, because like you said, 4 o'clock sounds like the right time to stop, right? Well, it's also about the time that no customers walk in.
Yep.
Now, you get that one asshole that walks in 5 minutes before you close the doors.
Yep.
But you get one asshole and you haven't had anybody in 2 hours. Malls are a little bit different, but malls work on mall hours. So if the mall is open 8 to 6, they'll be open 8 to 6, and that's fine. But the mall's not going to be open until 9 o'clock that night.
No.
So
I don't think, is the mall open on Christmas Eve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they won't be open Christmas Day, and unlike the other GameStop strip centers, I don't think the malls, in most cases, I don't expect the malls to be open on Thanksgiving. Now, if the mall says that we will let you open on Thanksgiving, rest assured GameStop would be open. but if the mall says, screw it, we're closed.
So that GameStop staff has it off.
Yes. Although in years past, the managers of those stores would have to work in another store.
Shut the
No,
why?
Totally serious. Well, because it's unfair for them to be off and nobody else. And they want their hours. You know what I mean? Because remember, as a GameStop store manager on Thanksgiving, you're getting time and a half plus an 8-hour payday.
Yeah.
So most of you want to work that day because you're getting that extra time. One thing they don't tell you though, and I'll go ahead and say this on the air because I don't work there, is that interestingly enough, because you're working the holiday, when GameStop is paying you a paid holiday, you can take an extra day off that week. So if you're getting paid for Thanksgiving anyway, you can have 2 other days off. So, or 3 other days off, because you only have to work 4 days to get the 5-day pay week.
Right.
So while they try to tell you that your schedule is guaranteed, you have to work this, and this, because the regional manager is going to be sitting at home eating their potatoes and turkey and everything. They'll sit there and tell you that you have to work Sunday, Monday. Normally it's like you have to work, or you're off Sunday. You have to work Monday. You're off Tuesday. You work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you get Sunday and Tuesday off in a lot of cases. But technically, you can actually take Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off because you're getting 8 hours to work Friday or Thursday anyway.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yep. So
even like Christmas week, when Christmas hits, they normally say, okay, you can have the Sunday off before Christmas, or like the Monday off before Christmas, because at Christmas time, a Sunday is like the busiest day of the week for whatever reason. So you can have Monday off, and they normally try to tell you it's a 6-day work week, and you have to work Christmas you don't work, or no, it's a 5-day work week because you're getting Monday and then Christmas Day off kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. But technically, you can take another day off that week because you're getting paid 8 hours for the holiday. So any GameStop full-time employee that just heard that. Good on you. So it pisses you off that they be closed or that they be open that late on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
And you do not work there.
No. Yeah, exactly.
So what do you do about it as a shopper?
I mean, I can say I'm not going to GameStop, but that's not going to hurt them because I don't go, they've still got other people going.
But what if everybody that doesn't work there didn't go to GameStop that day? What if that got boycotted instead?
But
now, granted, those employees would still have to sit there.
Yeah, with nobody coming in.
Right.
What the hell was that?
My neck hurts. I was doing my D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, that. Yeah, that's not right.
No, it's not right. It's not right. And but so I got into this argument with somebody on Reddit today. Now, my face, Rob Potsy Pochak, is Rob Potsy Pochak on Reddit. Right? That my name is the same thing. This guy's hiding behind whatever his thing is, whatever, and he sits there and says, "You don't honestly believe that GameStop would fire all of the employees that walk out that day?"
Yeah, they would.
And I was like,
well, hire somebody for less money.
Well, they would try, but now his argument or her argument, whoever they are, because again, they're and I don't want them to say who they are in public or anything, because they would lose their job immediately, because it's a conspiracy to fraud the company or cause the company loss of revenue, whatever the case might be, right?
Right.
So they would figure out something to fire them on, which is totally fine. The my rebuttal was, the first thing that you have to think about here is that not everybody, even if you stage a mass walkout, not everybody's going to walk out the door.
That's true.
2, some people really need the job, so they're definitely not going to walk out.
That's true too.
You're going to have those 18-year-old kids that have parents that sit there and say, "Oh, no, you're going to work today."
Try to teach them responsibility.
So you're going to make it, if you did something like that, you're going to make it to where the entire company is going to fire everybody that walks out that day, which is just going to make the people that stay work that much harder at the hardest time of year. Now, should they sit there and say that they demand equal pay and they demand this and they demand that? I don't think they really have a leg to stand on when it comes to that, because it's not like a racial issue. It's not a sexist issue. It's literally just the company doesn't want to pay their employees, right? So the only way that you correct that behavior from the company is to have everybody quit. But we've already established not everybody's going to quit at the same time. Not everybody's going to quit in the same day. Not everybody's going to, and some people are going to be like, "I can't quit," right? Yeah. So you can't even do that. So GameStop is going to continue to get by paying people what they pay them because they can. And because someone somewhere says yes to it. Now, granted, you walk in the stores now and the stores don't look nearly as clean as they did a year ago. And now they're supposed to have the cleaning protocols for COVID and everything else in place. And yet the stores just don't have the same look to them anymore, and I hear this from people all the time, and I laugh at it because I was like, well, that's because they don't have me, but I joke there because I really did take pride in trying to make my store look as nice as possible at all times, and we clean multiple times a day to do that. Some people don't have time to do that anymore because they're one of 3 employees working in their entire store, and GameStop just expanded their hours again, right? So I feel for the people that I've grown to care about that work at GameStops, Katie, Tony, and everybody else, Derek, and literally everybody that I've ever worked with, even the district managers that I worked with, I still care about all them, and I hope that they're doing well.
Who's the one over here by my house? Who's the one over here by my house?
Derek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I care about all those guys, and I hope that they're doing well, and I hope that if they intend to stay with GameStop for the long haul, that GameStop takes better care of them. I just when I heard this, it really made me wonder, what are they thinking? Because what's going to be next. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, which has always been a 12 to 6 or 10 to 6 maybe, is going to be 10 to 9. And there's no reason for it.
Because nobody's going to come.
Well, we've already established there will be somebody that walks through the door.
They're losing money. They're losing money. They got to pay for not only the lights and everything. They still got to people be there. They're not making money.
Hold on. Let me ask you something. When you say that they're losing money, if they sold one thing that cost more than $25 and they had an $8 an hour employee there for 3 hours, they made $1. So I I'm gonna clean this out while I say this. It's ridiculous to think about how they do it, but it is how they do it, and it's how they've always done it, and it's disheartening at this point. And I like I said, I still care about the people that work there, and it's hard for me, because I always said I'd never try to tell stories to get people in trouble. I'd never tell stories that would lie about the business or anything like that, because it's not the type of person I am. And that's why I always try to make the GameStop stories of the week funny. But the past 2 weeks, I really couldn't because they hurt my feelings. Yeah. And it's not the people. The people are the ones I still care about. Like I see signs on Facebook all the time that say stop harassing or stop beating up the employees at restaurants and retail. They're underpaid and undertaken care of, and yet you think it's your right to be able to sit there and badmouth them, and that's just not, So hopefully things get better. I think it's going to be a while, but anyways, what else is going to take a while to get better? NXT 2.0.
2.0, damn. Really? You went there?
Well, first I want to go ahead and say that the Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Escobar match was awesome. Excellent. And yet when I say Henu, it's not either of those guys.
Carmelo, that caught me off guard. When he ran down, though, I'm like,
they're gonna do something.
Yeah, especially when Isaiah won, because I'm like, he's not taking that belt to SmackDown. I'm like, and then I remembered he still Carmelo still had that contract. I'm like, he's about to cash that shit in, and sure enough,
well, why didn't he cash in for the NXT Championship? Was it always supposed to be for a North American?
It was for any title. It was any title, because when he started coming down with the other dude, I thought they were gonna go for the tag title.
Then who the fuck sits there and cashes in for like the middle ground title? That's like saying, oh, let's go ahead and cash in for the Cruiserweight title. Fuck that.
That's the writing, because the big boy, the big title's going to Rex Steiner.
Braun Breaker. That's right. And most men are created equal, Tino, except that normally gives you a 50-50 chance of winning. But if you're Braun Breaker you're the nephew of Scott Steiner, that automatically gives you a 75% chance.
No.
Why is that becoming so popular again?
It started back on Impact because Petey Williams came back. He did a little Papa Pump thing, and they were doing a it started because they were doing like a 3-way dance for the X Division, the title, and Petey Williams was in it, and so they were talking about they started talking about the odds again, and he came back as little Petey Pump, and he had the metal chain gear, and he started doing that. So now he did it, and then what's Rick Swan's partner? God, you don't watch it. Willie Mack. Willie Mack did it one time too. So everybody's starting to do it now.
It's hilarious. But yeah, so but did they decide when that match is taking place? It's at Halloween Havoc, right?
Yes. Is that this week or next?
I think it's next week.
Okay.
Unless it's a 2-night thing, and then it would be this week and next week.
I think it's next week. It's at Halloween Havoc.
And then they got Mandy Rose going against Raquel Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm. And they got the ugly chicks going against for the tag team belts.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe they'll probably all three get the titles.
You think all three of them? So you think it'll be like a?
I think Vince likes Mandy. I think Vince likes that. That's a Vince call. I think they're all going to get the titles because Raquel's held it for a while. There's nobody really, because if they're going to give it to anybody, they would have gave it to Taya Valkyrie or Frankie Monet, and they didn't.
Right.
But
yeah,
I
I think you're right when it comes to Mandy Rose. I don't know if the other two will, but I mean, who are the women's tag team title holders?
Io Shirai and the other ugly chick. What's her name?
The other ugly chick.
Oh gosh, she looks like a man. She does look like a man. I can't think.
I know who you're talking about, but you probably shouldn't say that someone looks like a man, Tino. Like we're a progressive world at this point. We're accepting of what people say that they are.
Yes.
But what you just said does not make it sound like you are, Dave Chappelle. So anyway, it's funny because I didn't think that NXT was all that good, and then I watched that main event, and it was like one match made up for all of it. But the thing that upset me about it was the
spit on the face of Dexter when Indy kissed him. Do you see when she kissed him and came back that damn line of slobber came out?
No.
I was like, ew.
No,
ew.
but no, what upset me about it was that the Escobar versus Swerve match was obviously in the works before Vince took over NXT. And they did the match, and it's been the only amazing match, really, that they have had since NXT 2.0 took over. And it's the first match that, like, they literally said, fuck it. Send the other guy out to win the title. Like, hey, we just gave you an amazing match, and fuck you, you're pretty cool. Fuck you, I'm out. You know, like that's
yeah.
It annoyed the piss out of me because I'm like, the two guys left it all in the ring. We know that Swerve's going to SmackDown. It's just fine. But the way that they did it was they made you think for 5 seconds, maybe he's not going up yet. And then it was nope, fuck off. He's gone. Like he's not even gonna have a rematch. So I don't know. I kind of got pissed off by that. Anyways, so we gotta talk about SmackDown first this week.
Yeah.
Because SmackDown was on at 8:00 on Friday on FS1. By the way, did win the ratings. So sorry, Tony Khan.
No, I think that I saw somewhere that AEW won the ratings.
No.
Oh, yeah.
NXT had SmackDown had over 1 million viewers. AEW had 630,000, if I remember correctly. And I could be wrong. If we had Sketchy in here, he'd probably tell us. Are you looking it up? All right.
Oh, that They won the well, if not the ratings, they won the
the demo.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. They won the demo.
So here's what's funny about that. Did you see the Facebook group today?
Probably.
So the first picture is a 20-something-year-old guy, and it says 25, and Tony Khan says, "We appreciate you and we love your business," right?
Oh,
Then it's got a 35-year-old person in the square below it, and Tony Khan's like, "We appreciate you and we love your business." And then it's got a guy that says 50, and he goes, "Nope, your money's no good here."
Wow.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure he's sitting there saying to Sting and Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard and Big Show and all and Chris Jericho, none of their money's good there either. Because like they're older than the demo. Like wasn't the point of bringing those guys in to try to get people from those demographics as well to watch the show? So to think that your demographic of 18 to 49 is the only thing that matters is full of shit. Like, to think that the WWE has this TV PG product, right? And they're trying to be a little edgier is what they keep saying. And that's why you keep hearing people like Bobby Lashley sit there and say, "That's bullshit." And then he says you'll get a dowel match. But I didn't do this. But like you keep hearing that WWE is trying to go younger. So what if their demographic that's watching the TV is younger than 18 to 49, right? We know that they've got.
They can't get edgier. They can't get edgier if they're trying to go younger. Excuse me.
Well, but they can get edgier. They just can't get edgier in the same ways. They've got to find new ways to bring in an audience, not necessarily the audience, right? So, but if they're aiming at a younger audience, and that's why they're putting Karrion Kross in a gladiator outfit, and that's why they're putting Nikki Cross in a superhero outfit, and that's why they're putting Charlotte Flair in Cruella de Vil's outfit. Is the possibility that these kids, when they finally get old enough, are then going to want to go over to AEW and watch their program, or are they going to be programmed mentally to stay with WWE at that point?
I don't know. And who's to say that these kids aren't watching both?
Well, and that is a very good point, and I'll explain why. Because if you look at the combined audiences of what NXT and AEW, when they were on Wednesday nights together, they were averaging about 1.4 million viewers, right?
Mm.
So NXT, who had like 680,000 on roughly average, moves over to Tuesday night. Guess what they're doing? 680,000.
The same numbers. They're
doing the same number. AEW on Wednesday night bumped up to about 1 million viewers. So let's say a 35% increase, but I would anticipate that most of those people from that 35% were the NXT viewers that, and what I mean by all of it is I think that people that watch NXT are more likely to be wrestling fans that are willing to try something else. Okay. Whereas I think when you look at AEW fans, they topped out, and this is Punk, Danielson, and Cole all on the same episode of Dynamite, right? At 1.35 million viewers. Well, that 1.35 million viewers is exactly the same number on a weekly basis that AEW and NXT would get on a Wednesday night. So you have NXT fans that want to see Adam Cole still. You have NXT fans or WWE fans that want to see Bryan Danielson wrestle the young guys that would have been AEW guys or NXT guys. So you're getting that now. And that's why at this point, the 2 million viewers that SmackDown has are the viewers you have to go for. You have to try to get those viewers, because right now, I don't know how that show's doing 2 million viewers and like Raw's doing 1.5 million. But the closer AEW gets to that 1.5 million to beat Raw, is it because AEW is doing that much better, or is it because Raw's coming down to them?
The Raw's been going down.
And
I mean, both though. I think now Dynamite's still a good show, and I agree with someone. I was listening to or reading somewhere. I like Dynamite, but Rampage here this past couple of weeks, like when it first debuted, it was hot. But now they're treating it like a second rate. It's almost like, what's the show they have on YouTube?
Elevation.
Huh?
Dark.
Yeah, it's like Dark.
Well, except for one thing. Except for it's the CM Punk show.
Yeah.
CM Punk
he can't. I love CM Punk, but he can't carry it.
Well, except I think he brings 700,000 viewers. Like, I think
he's not wrestling. He's commentating. So I'm wondering, you know what I mean? So,
but he has wrestled. He's wrestled 3 nights, 3 different shows. He has yet to wrestle on Dynamite. CM Punk has not wrestled on Dynamite.
Oh, damn.
Bryan Danielson has.
And so is Cole.
And so is Cole. Although Cole actually has wrestled more of his matches on Rampage, because they keep doing the 3-way dance matches and stuff.
Yeah, the super click, whatever they're calling themselves now.
But let's talk about SmackDown real quick. SmackDown was 2.5 hours. Still did over 1 million viewers on FS1, if I remember correctly. They really threw everything at that show. You know, they gave you a big main event with Becky and Sasha. They gave you Brock Lesnar using one line to sit there and I
went back and watched it on YouTube. That was awesome. What's up?
His one line threw everything for a tizzy, because of course you have Paul Heyman sitting there saying, "My tribal chief, everything that you asked for is in this contract." And Roman signs it, tosses it down. Paul just throws the pen. I thought that was hilarious. He just throws the pen, because he also threw the pen that Adam Pearce gave him. He threw that out first, and then he throws the second pen after Roman signs. And then they give it to Brock, and Brock just goes.
They didn't even look at it. He was looking at
it, but also like you listen to Pat McAfee, and he's like, "There's no way he signed on that line."
He just signed over that contract.
And then Michael Cole says to him, "Are you going to tell him that?" No. So Brock signs it and gives in the best Brock way possible.
Yeah, because
Roman looks at him and says, "Man, you must be a dumb son of a bitch." You know, like he's like, "Roman, I already read the contract this morning with my advocate, Paul Heyman," and then just gets up from the table and walks out.
That was awesome.
Because the whole time you're just sitting there going, you're looking at it like, okay, Paul's playing the one side, Paul's playing the one side, and then it's like, is he? You know, like I loved it. Hate the fact still to this moment that the draft happened like 2 weeks ago, and yet all of the wrestlers are showing up wherever the fuck they want.
I don't know, they're showing up where they want. They're still showing up on the shows that they're on.
Well, but Charlotte is the Raw Women's Champion, and yet she's drafted to SmackDown, and yet she's showing up on Raw.
Because she's still the Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah, but
remember that the draft doesn't take effect till the night after Crown Royal.
Right, but why? Why even have the draft yet then? Like, first of all, we're all sitting there going, well, it looks like Becky's going to hold the title, or maybe Bianca wins the title at Crown Jewel because well, we got to have one of the women going to the Raw and take the title.
Crown Jewel. I said Crown Royal.
Yeah, Crown Royal. That's good. That's a good show.
Yeah,
So Crown Jewel is stacked.
Yes.
The card for it looks like what they did with WrestleMania this year.
Yes.
Except you're adding in Becky Lynch, right? I think you've got the King of the Ring finals either at that or on SmackDown. I can't tell, but it's
I'm like Xavier and Finn. I'm like, ooh.
Well, I
Xavier's favorite to win, but damn.
We'll see, and here's why I think Finn's going to end up being the winner. I think that Xavier's going to get a rub from it, but I think that Finn's going to win because Vince really likes Finn, and he also liked calling the Demon King. However, the better story is Xavier winning, because then I can see Xavier turning heel because he's jealous of all these title matches that Kofi Kingston's getting, and yet he's the King of the Ring. So I could see that being something that plays into that. And they're obviously moving over to SmackDown after the draft. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. I'm okay. I'm okay with either of the guys winning it, but right now you have two baby faces going for the King of the Ring, which I felt was kind of weird.
And they're trying to copyright something for Roman. It's something like Suplex City. It's Suplex something, which leads me to believe, something like the Suplex, something like he puts the Suplex City down or something. I don't think that Brock's gonna roll out with that belt.
No. It looks like the first time that Brock is, and they'll probably have Paul cost Brock the match, which will show his full alignment to Roman. So that'll be interesting. The otherwise, there wasn't really anything that I thought was blow your mind on SmackDown. So I don't know how you felt about it, but that's kind of how I felt. You still there? Tino?
Yep, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So I don't really have anything else.
Not with SmackDown.
All right. Rampage. So I want to start by saying that, they did a buy-in show like they did for pay-per-views. And on the buy-in, they had Minoru Suzuki, Murder Grandpa, versus Bryan Danielson.
Oh, my God.
And you want to talk about strong style and stiff chops and
that forearm to the jaw that just dropped Danielson.
Yeah, and the statement that was made around the world was he just knocked him out. So
I think that was shoot. He hit that mug, and that mug dropped like a sack of potatoes. And when he went to go stand up, his eyes were glassed. I don't think he knew where he was for a second.
Well, and see, that's part of the problem. That's what we said would not happen in a WWE match between Danielson and anybody, but was more than likely going to happen at some point in AEW because they're just not as safe. And Tino, I think I'm losing you, buddy.
Are you still? You there?
I'm here. You don't seem to be.
Here. Well, you can hear me.
Beep, beep, burp, beep, burp, beep, beep, beep. Want to try that again?
I said, apparently you could hear me because I said, I'm here. Can you hear me? You're like, I'm here.
No. All I heard was meep, burp, beep, burp, 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 beep, beep. Seriously. So anyway, yeah, so the wrestling smarks out there were talking about how if you're trying to compete against SmackDown, why are you going to put Bryan Danielson up against some guy that people who watch SmackDown will have never heard of before?
Because I don't think they were doing that for. I think they were trying to pull. You're right. People who haven't watched SmackDown before probably hadn't heard of Suzuki, but other people have. So I think they were trying to pull that crowd. You know what I mean? I think they're still trying to pull in viewers. It wasn't going to affect. It wasn't going to pull people away from SmackDown, unless they want to see Bryan Danielson.
But see, here's the thing, and yes, that's exactly it. Bryan Danielson was in the main event of WrestleMania this year, so you're going to pull some people that will be willing to watch Bryan Danielson. And his name alone should be able to pull some of the people that were interested in him on SmackDown to watch that buy-in match, right? At the same time, though, if you're going to try to bring something to the table that is going to show why your product is different than WWE product, Murder Grandpa is a pretty good way to do it. Because originally the match that was supposed to take place on that buy-in was supposed to be Bobby Fish versus Bryan Danielson. Now, think about this, though. Where did Bobby Fish wrestle just recently?
NXT.
Where did Bryan Danielson wrestle just recently?
SmackDown.
So if you're going to try to get a WWE person to watch an AEW match, putting two WWE guys against each other is probably a good way to do it.
I don't know if they were necessarily going for, you know what I mean, trying to pull.
No, dude. You have to think that when SmackDown normally has 2 million viewers and you're going head to head against them, the first thing you're thinking is, how do I pull their viewers? Do you want to create new viewers? Absolutely. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, you do. But the reason why Rampage doesn't go up against WWE head to head is very specific.
Oh, they can't.
It's because they want to take viewers from them who still sit there and go, man, I could go for another hour of wrestling. That's what they're hoping for. And that's why they've been able to maintain 600,000+ viewers at 10 o'clock at night. That shit's late.
Yeah.
Too old for that shit. Of course, I'm only 5 years away from the demographic. So, I mean, my money's no good here in a couple of years. So
why wouldn't they go again? I'm just wondering why they wouldn't try to go against Raw. Seeing how
you don't go against Raw right now. And here's why. Raw is already up against its biggest competition right now.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah. You go putting AEW on TBS or TNT on Monday night right now, you're not doing your million viewers. Because people want to watch football.
So you think after football season they should try it?
I think that what happens there is you take a look at what Monday Night Raw's viewership is going to look like. And if they suddenly are over 2 million viewers again, then sure. But right now, you don't want to put a big L on the board.
Yeah.
And if you go up against Raw right now, you might take half their viewers, but that puts you at 700,000. Puts you right back where you were when AEW was up against NXT. So right now, I think that AEW's viewership on Wednesday nights is built around WWE not having a show on Wednesday nights.
And I would probably because I'm thinking back when WCW and when Nitro and Raw Raw came on at 9 and Nitro came on an hour earlier.
Yeah, Nitro was the 3-hour show and Raw was 2 hours.
So Nitro went from 8 to 11, and Raw went from 9 to 11. See,
9
Raw
to 11:07 or whatever, but yeah.
And Raw's already going 8 to 11. I was trying to think of how Rampage could do. Oh, not Rampage, or AEW could do it, but they can't. I would say go on early, but that means they'd have to go on at 7.
No, with their product being the kind of product it is, 8 o'clock is probably the earliest you can go on. And if you were to want to change anything, you would want to change it to they'd go on 9 to 11. You know, and or 10 to 12. You know, to try to actually get people that are still watching Raw. The problem is, and this is the biggest problem with Monday Night Raw right now, people are tuning out that third hour. They're not watching the main event anymore.
No.
You know, whereas it used to be the biggest quarter hour that they would have. They would do like 6 million viewers in the last quarter hour. You know, like right now, if you were to have The Rock show up, you don't put them on in the final half hour. You put them on at the beginning of the show.
But again, we've talked about this before. If they would have that continuity throughout the whole show, like you said, put The Rock on at the beginning of the show and have him, you know, at specific times throughout the show, remind, hey, he's still here, that storyline's still going. I think they could keep somebody till the final half hour to a main event.
It's a good thought, but guess what? They've already proven that's not the case. And when they've proven it was just a couple weeks ago when they had the Bloodline versus the New Day, and then the final match of the night was the 3-way dance between Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns, and Big E. And they didn't keep the viewers. People just they were already like, oh, we've already seen these guys tonight, so we don't need to watch anymore. I mean, I wish that wasn't sounding like the case, but that's exactly what it sounds like now, man. People tune out. Now, can you keep the audience entertained enough to where if you were to create some sort of what's up, Chris Barrett? If you were to create some sort of storyline that has a beginning, a middle, and an end at the end of the show, then sure, you probably could.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. You know, they've tried. Chris Barrett saying he didn't watch anything, spent too much time causing scenes at a wedding to okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, the CM Punk versus Evan Bourne match, 2 WWE guys on Rampage, was probably my favorite match of the entire week. Partly because AEW Dynamite, like I said, recorded with just a black screen for me, so I didn't get to see any of that. And I did get to see the Dark Order kissing Adam Cole.
That was funny.
And I even got to see the little behind the scenes, being the elite little stuff where they're talking about where John Silver and what's his face show up, and they're like, "Don't you want to talk about the kiss, Adam?" And he's like, "That kiss meant nothing. That kiss meant nothing to me."
I didn't see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny stuff. Monday Night Raw.
The ending
seems like a rehashing of the week before.
That would have been the perfect time for them to drop that title to Bianca Belair. See, I could see them dropping that title to Bianca Belair and then letting Sasha win the belt at Crown Jewel, and then problem solved. But no, and
they didn't play it up to where Charlotte has to, you know, also put her title up at Crown Jewel, which would have been smart.
I don't know what they're gonna do. No, they don't. I was about to say they still have time, but no, they don't. That was a go home show. Unless they do it, unless they have a house show, you know, sometimes they will switch a title to a house show, but that would suck.
No, I have a feeling that SmackDown on Friday night is going to be Becky and Charlotte just throwing the belts at each other and being like, "Fine, you take it." and doing it in a horrible, horrible way.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you end that match in a disqualification to begin with.
And I halfway expected, until I looked at the time, I halfway expected Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville to come down and go, no,
we're not doing
like that. But they
didn't. But you know what the problem is? They do that too often. They've done it like the last 4 weeks. Like, yeah, we were expecting it now. Oh, we'll throw them for a little loop. We won't do it this week.
Now, Doudrop beating Shayna was a nice surprise because I thought that Shayna was gonna. You knew Doudrop was gonna beat her?
No, and I'm glad Doudrop won. However,
she's not gonna beat Zelina.
She probably will. I mean, she's 3 times her size.
That don't mean anything.
Not in the WWE. But it's funny because these are the first 2 wins that Zelina Vega's had.
Hope she enjoyed it while she can. Now, I do want to go back to Miro's promo, and I forgot this. It just dawned on me. I just remembered his promo when they were showing the video footage, and I didn't
even pull up Dynamite.
It's interesting the way that he was God's favorite champion, but now that he's lost the title, I guess he's supposed to be questioning God and like, well, since you took this from me, now until I'm like, it's that whole promo was weird to me, borderline blasphemous. I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
so now they're trying to make him into a monster hero now, so he's changing his gimmick again.
I mean, he's already changed it 3 times. Why not 4, right?
Yeah.
You know, he was finally fitting in where he wanted to, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, time to change again. Just the way it is.
I got a feeling Sammy's about to drop that belt just as soon as he's got it too.
Who's he dropping it to?
Did you see the promo with American Top Talent or whatever? America's Top Team, whatever they're calling themselves. And then the dude was like, if you listen carefully, he goes, yeah, we'll face you under our rules. And he's talking, and Sammy Vega, you've got all the stroke, you've got all the power because you're the only one with the belt. We'll face you, but under our rules. I think that either Ethan Page or Scorpio Sky is going to beat him for that belt.
I don't know if it's done right. I'm okay with it. It's a secondary belt anyway. You can keep bouncing it around from people to people.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
No, go up to the one above that.
I don't know if I want to.
God.
I don't even know what that means.
Yes, you do.
Anyways. And Chris Barrett, no, I was eating a Snickers. Since you asked, was I eating a weenie? No, I'm eating a Snickers. I wanted to make sure I didn't have a meltdown moment on this broadcast tonight.
You're not yourself when you don't have a Snickers.
Right. So I had to have a Snickers.
Oh man. So is Ricky Starks not going to wrestle anymore because he's just going to be on commentary from now on, him and Taz?
No, if I had to guess, I think he's having complications from that neck injury he had. And instead of letting him hurt himself more.
Well, no, because then he wrestled Brian Cage for that belt.
Yeah, he's wrestled sparsely though.
Yeah.
You know, and if you look at that match against Brian Cage, it was really the entirety of Team Taz versus Brian Cage.
That's what I wanted to say about another thing about the American Top Team and the inner
Jericho.
circle.
Yeah.
No, just the inner circle in general. The American Top Team's got that girl. And inner circle doesn't have a girl. You know,
Paige Van Zandt.
No. She's
No, that's who she is. Paige Van
Oh
Zandt.
yeah.
Don't go saying they have that girl. I mean, she's one of the top UFC women in the world.
And you know who? What they have another MMA lady in AEW that can maybe join forces with the inner circle, and I'd be cool with it. Thunder Rosa.
Okay.
She fits him in the face paint and she's Latin with the Ortiz and I think.
So because she's Latin, we can go ahead and add her into Santana and Ortiz.
No, I'm not you talking about black people only wrestle black people on Raw. That's not.
I mean, it's true. I mean, look, they just added Goldberg to that. So
shut up. Anyway, so you don't think Thunder Rosa would fit in with the inner circle?
I mean, sure she would, but what's in it for her? Like, why? So right now, I don't think Paige Van Zandt is going to wrestle because she's like the only one out of that America Top Team that's actually currently under contract with the UFC to fight.
Yeah, but that didn't stop her from jumping in the ring and getting kicks in and going on a beat down when they're jumping them. You know what I mean?
But that's because she wants she wants her pink hair to sit there and make it look like you just don't care. I don't know. What I really think is going on there is that they're like, go ahead and mess with the guys some. It's fine. Now, is it possible that they sit there and throw someone like her in there? Sure. Is it possible that they bring someone else in to be the inner circle's, female counterpart? Maybe. I don't know. I don't like. As long as it fits, as long as it sounds good on paper and it looks good out there, I don't know what Chris Barrett's talking about. But what I'm saying is that, like, if it fits the story, it's okay. If they don't even have to have her join the inner circle. They can say, for one night only, we're including a new member because none of us gentlemen want to sit there and put that bitch back in her place. So we've gone out and found the top bitch of our own. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Thunder Rosa. And I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with that.
Lana. No, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. We'll bring out CJ Perry. What?
Put her to the table.
Yeah, she get put through a table like instantly. Kind of like Junior Dos Santos did by Jake Hager. He looked like he was having fun out there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sitting there putting Jericho on his shoulder and just walking him around and be like, "Woo, look at me, woo!" But yeah, so I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay if all of a sudden we found out that Jade Cargill goes babyface and she goes up against Paige Van Zandt. I'd be okay with any of that. I would think more likely though, Ruby Soho, because they're getting her over as the babyface, and suddenly taking the spot that Thunder Rosa was in a couple weeks ago. I would say that Ruby Soho would probably fit the group a little bit better. She also looks like more of the biker gang type. But I mean, as long as it fits, I'm okay with any of them. Just don't make it anybody like Sky Blue or Red Velvet. Like actually make it a contender. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. You there?
Yeah. So I'm cool with Thunder Rosa because I do think she fits in. However, suddenly it's like Jake Hager and Jericho are the only two non-Hispanic guys in that group, if that's the case.
Yeah, it was weird that they were getting their asses beat for it was like a good 2-3 weeks, and then Santana and Ortiz decided to finally come out and help them out.
Well, and now they've got full face paint, which I thought was funny because Jericho was just talking to like Chris Van Vliet or somebody about how like when they were putting the Inner Circle together, he originally wanted the Lucha Brothers and didn't go with them because he said that the Lucha Brothers wearing masks didn't really fit their gimmick and their shtick. But now all of a sudden you have Santana Ortiz wearing face paint every week, and it's like, what's going on there? You know what I mean?
Speaking of Lucha Brothers,
just kind of odd to me.
The Lucha Brothers lost the AAA titles that they had to a masked FTR.
Yeah, the Conquista FTRs.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, like it is what it is. I don't know. Chris Barrett, you'd fight her for a Happy Meal. Who you kidding?
Oh damn.
I would. Let her put me in a leg lock around my neck. Of course, her husband would beat the shit out of me. He's also an MMA fighter.
With the tattoo on his neck, the throat tattoo.
Yeah.
I wonder how much free reign. I wonder how much Jericho. I wonder if Jericho.
I'm sure he went over the lines with her before he said it. Although I'll tell you, her husband looked pissed.
Yeah.
So while I think that yes, I think that they absolutely went over some of the choreographed lines. I think that it's no pop on that one. So, but you know, regardless of all that, I kind of like that it you know, what they did was they brought America Top Team in there. They got Nuclear Heat with what's his face, who Jericho just keeps calling like a piece of shit. The fat-faced dipshit. You know, he just keeps calling him a piece of shit, and it's like he's getting, like I said, he's getting Nuclear Heat, and yet like Jericho is Teflon. So as long as they keep him in tag team matches, Jericho can lose those tag team matches and keep his win-loss record in the singles matches fine. Yeah. You know? So and then if you think about it, like Jake Hager, like they use him so infrequently as a singles competitor or as a competitor at all that like he doesn't need to win or lose as a wrestler.
Yeah, no.
However, he's a legit badass that they don't let win matches.
I don't know.
Chris Barrett likes some Ruby Soho. So Tino, what was your match of the week, sir? I already said what mine was.
What was that Ricochet match? That was last week. The Ricochet and yeah, that was last week. Ricochet.
Yeah, that was Xavier versus Ricochet.
I gotta say, my match was the Suzuki and Bryan Danielson match.
See, so I did not get to see all of that match, so I'm sticking with CM Punk versus Matt Sydal.
Yeah, because the Suzuki Danielson match was very, while it was strong style, it was very technical because they're both good technical wrestlers, but also it was hard hitting when it needed to be hard hitting.
Well, I don't actually think Suzuki. I don't think Suzuki is all that sound in the ring. I think Bryan Danielson brings that out of anybody. You know, like he forces you to wrestle his style. It was Hayabusa versus wait, Hayabusa and Hakushi. Wow, yeah, that's really taking it back there, Chris Barrett. So Tino, I'm done, man. I'm losing my voice as it is. If I don't keep eating candy, I'm gonna fall asleep. So good show. Had a fun time.
That was awesome.
we're back to our hour and a half. So
I like
we're good. We're good there. Only if you like the WWE CW.
Yeah, you got to like the original ECW.
Yeah. You gotta like when Bam Bam Bigelow's going through the floor.
You got to like when New Jack's throwing motherfuckers off of scaffolding, trying to kill them for revenge.
Trying to kill them, yeah.
For revenge.
Wasn't that Vic Grimes?
Yeah, because then Vic Grimes messed up something like it hurt New Jack or something, broke his. I forget what happened, but he's like, he didn't think about me. He tried to hurt me, so he said, I went up. He never apologized. He said, then he tried to apologize to me right before the match. It's like, nope, fuck it. I'm gonna throw you off the top of the
And he did.
He said, I was trying to make the motherfucker land on his head on the concrete. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, he was trying to commit murder.
Yeah.
He was trying to commit murder. Oh, speaking of murder, I guess I'll go ahead and say I saw the new Halloween Kills movie.
Haven't seen it yet.
It's on Peacock.
I know.
I've watched it twice now. Once in the theater, once on Peacock. And the reviews are pretty harsh on it. Like, I don't know what they expect from, a low budget horror film.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the Rob Zombie Addams Family.
You mean the Munsters?
Monsters. I'm sorry, yeah, Monsters.
Yeah, I don't want to watch it.
It's gonna be good.
It's not gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. It's Rob Zombie. It's gonna be good.
That's the problem with, like, who in the right mind decided, hey, let's go ahead and take this parody of all these like vampire characters and the Mummy and Frankenstein, and we're gonna go ahead and say, let's give it to Rob Zombie to sit there and make a movie out of. It's gonna be a travesty of justice.
I bet you $5 million if Rob Zombie came to you and said he wanted to make fucking junior high horrors into a fucking movie, you would do it. Then shut the hell up.
But he can do it because I've already said that I'm a money whore, so I am going to sign it over to whoever gives me the money. I've already said that. You can't use that as an example.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for coming in. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate everybody that's coming there. I don't know. Did Terrence leave? He just popped in and said, hey, and then he didn't.
Yeah, I noticed.
Thanks, Terrence. Thanks, Chris Barrett, as always. We got to get Chris Barrett on here one time.
Give a to the show.
Yeah. You got to do an Orange Cassidy.
Give one of these to the show.
Yeah. And
remember that, most people are created equal, but because the Potsy and Tino show has two of us, that automatically gives us a 75% chance of winning the match.
Did you see Chris Barrett's last comment?
No.
No, he doesn't.
So interestingly, okay. Now Chris Barrett just made me remember something else. So today I bought stock in a new company. I bought stock in Playboy because they bought a social networking company to create something that is supposed to be going up against OnlyFans for Playboy Playmates.
Okay.
So I bought stock because I was like, yes. And then their stock went up 12% today.
I bet it did. That's when I said we should have Chris Barrett on the show.
All right, everybody, give a like to the show.
Buy the t-shirt. You lost your money, Rob. I
read it.
Buy the t-shirt. So folks, you can check him out on the Twitter machine. He is Rob Pot. No shit. He is at Potcheck. I am HootieFan91. You can check us out on Insta. I am SC Tino. He is Rob Potcheck. On the TikTok, he is Rob Potsy Potcheck.
And Twitch.
and Twitch as well. As always, you can check us out on YouTube right here on the Pots and Pans Network. On the Twitter, we are Potsy and Tino. Facebook, we're the Potsy and Tino Show. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you to Adam's House Cats for the wrestling song, which is our theme song. You can get it on iTunes for 99 cents.
Go ahead and give us some comments, give us some likes, give us some shares, all that good stuff. Some stock shares would be good too if you guys have any of those that you want to give us.
No monkey.
Whoa. Diamond Dallas Page wants to keep talking.
There's a no monkey.
No monkey.
No monkey.
No baby oil.
Baby oil. All right, folks. Until next week, that is Rob. I am Tino. We are the Old Age Outlaws. And as always, on the top of the hill in the Queen City, you hear the Nature Boy, and he is saying, woo! Good night. Dig it.
Woo!